This is Critical Issues with BC Adewale. I want you to watch this particular video. Then I will talk to you after you might have watched the video.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mrs. Princess Enwemadu, wife of Pastor Enwemadu. I know you saw a video where my husband caught me in bed with his younger brother. I know that most of you are criticizing me, and that's okay. I'm not even happy with myself. I'm not glad I did what I did, but I'm just here to tell you what happened. Not that it was enough reason for me to do what I did, but then I'm human, and I made a mistake, yes. So the thing is, my husband is a good man. He's devoted to his service to God and humanity, and I can't say he did anything to me, but then he, as much as he's doing the work of God, he forgot that he also owes me his duties as my husband. He neglected them. He's always going on fastings, going to the mountains to pray, doing the work of God, going for services, fasting for 14 days, 7 days, 21 days as the Spirit leads. Sometimes he travels for conferences, conventions, anything it takes. Sometimes he's away for a month, sometimes 2 months, sometimes more. And even when he's home, he's always fasting. He'll tell me it's always from one fasting to another. Sometimes he'll tell you he wants to pray and he's supposed to abstain from some things. And I'm human. As much as I know that he's doing the work of God, but I also have my own needs as his wife. I have needs that he needs to fulfill, needs that are to be met. You all can agree with me on that. And when he wasn't doing that, I don't know. That was what led to my doing what I did. I tried to talk to him about it severally, but he kept on insisting that he has to do what he has to do for God and for the people that are under him. Am I supposed to gratify myself of these desires that I have? I can't. I need somebody. As much as I want to serve God, I also want my husband. I need my husband. For 8 good months, my husband hasn't touched me. Yes. My husband hasn't touched me. I haven't felt his warmth. Nothing. He hasn't been there on the cold nights. There are even things about me that he doesn't even know about. I'm very sure you guys will not even agree with such attitude. I mean, I love God too. I want to serve God. That is why we have each other. I am sure it was my love for God that attracted me to him. And it's the same for me. But how is it that he got so much, he got into this that he forgot that he has a wife? After God, it is me. But then all his focus was on God. He's supposed to draw me to him, but then it's as if he is drawing me away from him. 8 good months without my husband. 8 good months without being touched. 8 good months doing this marriage thing alone. I've been neglected. I didn't want to have anything to do with his younger brother, but I was pushed. There was nothing I could do. I needed someone to talk to. I needed someone to lean on his shoulders. I needed someone to cry to. His younger brother was always there, and I needed someone to talk to. His younger brother was there on those lonely nights. His younger brother was there on those cold nights. What would I have done? What if tables were turned?
Okay, you've watched the video, you've seen it all. That woman, a pastor's wife, sleeping with the younger brother of her husband. Now, I have advice, not for this woman, not for her husband this time around, but everybody that will be watching this video. First, let me talk to pastors' wives. If you are married to a pastor, be very careful. There are so many things that will be in place that you need to get right. Many pastors' wives are hurting. I minister in pastor conferences, I speak to pastors' wives, and I can assure you many of them are hurting. Oh, and there's nobody they can talk to. No. Meet 10 pastors' wives, about 7 of them are hurting. Really hurting. Some of them, they are being deprived of their time with their husband. Some of them are being deprived of sex. Some of them, they are in the middle of the crisis within the church that they know nothing about. So they cry daily, they weep daily. Whenever church is in crisis, the pastor's wife is in the middle of it. In fact, people want a pastor's wife and a daughter or our sons to behave in a perfect way, as if they've gone to seminary, they've been trained. They are not pastors most of the time. So that is why some pastor children are being rebellious. Some pastors' wives are depressed. So what are you supposed to do if you are married to a pastor? Please stop keeping quiet in the name of defending the ministry of your husband, protecting integrity of your husband. You need to speak out. But the thing you need to do is to speak to the right people, not to church member, not to his family, not to his friends. Most of the time, his friend, the pastor's friend, is like himself. In fact, that's the reason why they are friends in the first instance. So what are you supposed to do? Seek professional help. Seek help. Don't find succor in the wrong place. Look at that lady. She said she found succor in the younger brother, and see what it has led to. Error, abomination. That marriage may not survive it. Because if you don't do the right thing, you will fall into the wrong thing that will hurt your marriage. And no matter how deprived you are, no matter how hurting you are, pastor's wife, don't commit adultery. Don't look for any other man. It will hurt you, it will hurt God, it will hurt your children, it will hurt the ministry, it will hurt everything that is called Christendom. That is why you need to be very careful. But speak out, get help in the right place. Sit down your husband. At times, he may be too anointed to listen. Pray to God. Go for professional counselors who will be able to help. If he has a genuine father in the Lord that can talk to him, see the father in the Lord. At times, these things are much more complicated than what I'm saying now. But with the help of God, you can overcome. So get help in the right place. Now, let me talk to pastors. Let me talk to pastor. I assume that what that girl said is true. I just assume it. She may be lying, but I just assume. Please, I'm not justifying that girl, that woman, for sleeping around because her husband is not taking care of her, 8 months, this thing. That is not justifiable under any condition. But I have seen so many pastors behaving the same way all over the world. Many of them are married to their churches, to their ministries, hurting the person they married. In fact, many pastors shouldn't have married. Maybe they will be well as a single, but if you are married, you will know that, like that girl rightly said, after God, the second most important thing or person in your life is your wife, then your children, then your ministry will come after. So you have to learn to balance family and ministry life. If you don't balance the family and ministry life, the family will collapse and it will destroy your ministry. So you also need to balance prayer and fasting, romance and sex. You should know the time to fast, the time to pray, and the time you will be with your wife. As you read the Bible, create time to read your wife. Hey, if your wife is like a book, if you don't read that well, she may scatter the ministry you are building. And if you are going out on ministerial assignment, carry her along. Before you travel, satisfy Pastor Mrs. And when you arrive, let Pastor Mrs. satisfy you. In fact, if you are not satisfied sexually, most of the time, that's what makes some men to fall into error in when they travel for so-called revival, crusade, or whatever. And another thing I want every pastor to know is 40 days fasting and prayer does not mean 40 days without sex. Go and read the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 from verse 1 to 5 very well. Very, very well. You are going to abstain from sex during fasting and prayer. And when it's fasting and prayer, fasting starts from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. 12 midnight to 6 p.m. Between 6 p.m. and 11:59. Except if your fasting is a marathon fasting, that you are fasting for 40 days without food. That's the only time you are going to abstain from your wife, and you need to. It must be with her permission. You must have discussed with her. Let her understand that you are fasting for that long. But 40 days, 120 days, 150 days, and you are not touching your wife. I remember in Sango Ota, in Ogun State, a pastor's wife came several years ago and told us that we should talk to her husband. Her husband is not sleeping with her. 90 days in the forest, 40 days on the road, 31 days on the crusade. And said, as at then it was July, she said her husband have not touched her since November. Then it was July, another July. Said, please help me talk to him. We tried to intervene to talk to this man, he wouldn't listen. The next time I hear about this, it was that a mechanic very close to the church had impregnated Mommy G.O. of that church, because the man is a general overseer. The general overseer wife was impregnated by the mechanic that normally come around and talking to mama, helping mama with one thing and the other in the house. She was pregnant and the church scattered. So please, all pastors, listen to this very well. Live a balanced life. Live a balanced life. Balance fasting and prayer, sex and romance. Know how to balance everything. Think right so that you can get the right result in your ministry. I pray the Almighty will sustain you in that ministry, and it shall be well with your home. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Now, you can make your marriage sweeter, stronger, better, tantalizing and more romantic by joining our 31 Days Married Makeover Bootcamp, where you're going to watch 34 uncommon videos on intimacy, finance, sex, romance and lots more that will turn your marriage around forever. Quickly go to familiacourses.com and start the journey of fruitful, blissful and successful marriage now. You get it at 75% discount if you get the course today.